Hello there! We've been waiting for you!
Hello?
Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death.
Oh, relax, Archie.
Attention, all true believers. Marvel Comics is on the air.
A friend of the unfortunate, enemy of criminals. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle.
Boys and girls, your attention, please. Presenting a new exciting radio program featuring the thrilling adventures of an amazing and incredible personality. Faster than an airplane, more powerful than a locomotive, impervious to bullets.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman!
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Don't out us, Jay. Half the time I'm like doing crazy dances before we come on. Shanice doesn't do any of that stuff. So calm. Hi, everybody. It's time for a minute to skim it. Your weekly, what's going on in the new books, but with no spoilers. We're going to try real hard. I also try to not spoil from weeks before, but if I do that, if I start talking about something that happened in a book before, I will tell you so you can go la 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 la. Because sometimes it's important to go touch base. I'm so glad to see everyone. Triple B, Barlord, who else I see? Mr. Nope, Jay's behind the scenes. We're gonna have a good old time. See, we don't take breaks. That's right. I'm so used to like the bump at the beginning. We don't do that here. No, we're gonna talk about comic books. It is very thankfully a light week for you guys because I know you spent all your money in the last 3 weeks on all the absolute titles, correct? Does anyone have anything to say in the chat about did you like Absolute Green Lantern? Did you like Absolute Flash? Did you like Absolute Martian Manhunter? I'm very interested in what you guys have to say about such things. Meanwhile, we'll dive into what's going on this week. Absolute Bats delayed a week at your shop. Oh, Barlord, I hope that it does not go any longer than that. I did not get to read Absolute. This was Shanice's week to read it. But I'm always looking forward to what can he weaponize on his suit / buildings / whatever, right? It's what's being weaponized today. Lunar dropped the ball. Yep. I actually heard, so you guys know from your LCS, they're not blowing smoke. I did hear that there were some stores that accidentally did not get their A covers for some of the titles. Sometimes it happens when the shipment to Lunar is delayed and they got to push things out. Sometimes, they're a great company and they never make mistakes for us, but it's bound to happen occasionally because it's human beings, not robots doing that stuff. So just be patient with them. You'll definitely get your books. Oh, Free Planets! All right, so this actually got handed to me at Comics Pro, and I swore I had read it on the plane or coming back, or when I came back to try to do a little. I like to try to read comp copies and try to get what they call pull quotes out for the publishers so they can use them, on the backs of them. They'll say like so-and-so said, I'm a nobody, so they don't ever use my pull quotes, but I like to give them to them, let them know, thank you for giving us a comp copy so that we can read them in advance. So this is a very complex storyline. So this is Aubrey Sitterson writing. So really rich writing, but you are going to have to slow yourself the F letter down to be able to read this. If you're a fast reader, you want a lot of action and all that stuff. Imagine you're setting up an entire storyline for a world. And it's done very extremely well, but you are going to have to be ready for a lot of exposition and narration. So this one, I said F letter. I did. I also am psychic. Didn't you see my interview yesterday? Totally psychic. So this one's very interesting. It talks about this world who has been in giant war, so huge war for a long time. And the war, when you meet the world is done, and these people that are like across the front here, they're, instead of the general, we'll call him a general because I don't know that's what he called his title. Instead of the general being like, oh, now I'm going to become ruler of the planet, right? It's kind of what happened for America, even though he wasn't really down for it initially. George Washington ended up being the president / almost made him king, and he was like, no, that's what we fought against. So instead of doing that, he says, I'm stepping down, and we've chosen people who were important to the war effort from all different importances, and they're going to together rule this world. Now we just get to meet the characters here, so you can see there's going to be some interesting aspects to this. It's the characters I like the most is, can you see that kind of giant mech in the back? He is married to that giant Amazon looking woman at the very end with a mask on. He was injured in the war and now has to live inside this mech. So it's just really cool. So this is all to say they do jump back and forth and go back and look at what happened during the war, who's who, and all those things. But the characters are really interesting, but I'm not reading anything for very long if it's all about getting to a battle. In this one, they kind of skip the battle and get you straight to the things that matter, which are kind of like, I don't know, politicking and, interpersonal relationships. So it's really neat. The experience says Absolute Flash was definitely a pickup issue. Enjoyed it. Read a little of Martian Manhunter and haven't read GL just yet. Okay. That's good. Oh, and this is also me. I'm so sorry. All right. So Gail Simone's been talking about this as a storyline. She basically has just been saying, I can't wait until you get to this storyline, which is dark. That's so funny. On the screen, it looks like dark argery. It's dark artery. So this one's interesting. It goes back and forth into focusing on the new kids, right? The new X-Men. One of which is occasionally dead. If you're not reading the series, man, I can't help you out. But the occasionally dead kid is actually started to feel a call to a specific place, which is this really weird building that's kind of, I'm going to tell you, kind of out in the swamp, for lack of a better place to tell you where it is. So it's storyline about them making that trip. And then my recollection is that there's another interspersed storyline with Gambit. And see, can I tell you anything about that? No, but I do like hearing him Gambit talk, because he has a very distinct way of speech pattern, which is really cool. And I love reading the way he is. And oh, hello, how you doing, Ken? Yeah, and that's this one's pretty dark. I mean, it's clear what is, like, the name of it is very important. And just never forget for this storyline that in the very first issue, we figured out that one of these characters, that one of those 5 there, is supposed to, end all things. So don't forget, one of them is very dangerous. Or all of them very dangerous, I don't know. trust no one, I guess, but also fall in love with them because they're cool characters.
Okay. So the Amazing Spider-Man #1, for everyone knows, it's a relaunch. It's an excellent jumping on point for those who are wanting to get into Amazing Spider-Man or just into the character in general. And I'm sure that people who have been following Spider-Man since the previous run, you guys are already going to get it, and I hope y'all do. I thought it was a pretty solid issue. The art was the standout, of course. There are panels in this book that I genuinely thought was just absolutely stunning, and the story, Parker Luck is in full effect in this issue. And I'm trying, like how you were saying earlier, I'm just trying to be careful about spoiling certain things.
Mm-hmm. Does it pick up right off from where the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man left off?
See, so I actually didn't
finish it out.
I didn't finish it out. But I remember you said that you thought it was pretty solid. Yeah,
it's an incredible. You should, guys, if you don't want to go back and get the individual issues, you should pick up that trade because it's actually an exceptionally emotional journey. That run, the 8 Deaths.
It picks up like I don't think you would have to know what happened in that storyline necessarily to understand this. Like, I read it just fine.
Hey, heads up. He dies a couple times in that series.
No way.
No way.
No way. But I mean, yeah, I would give it a shot. I know this title is it has its fans, it has the opposite of that. All I'm saying is just give this #1 a shot. If it's not your bag, it's not your bag. You still have Ultimate Spider-Man. And I'm sure other Spider titles that'll keep you content and happy. But Pepe Larraz's art, again, it's so great. When he was announced, I was very, very excited.
What an oxymoron. Parker Luck. I wonder who came up with that. Someone did some research for me. Who coined the phrase Parker Luck? I don't think it's modern. I think someone long ago threw it in there. Poor guy.
Poor Peter.
Poor Pete. All right. I will say, if you've not read any of the Ultimates, you're fine jumping in here. This feels like its very own story. So for a little bit of a catch up, you know that the entire universe is all made by the maker to create his own thing that he can control. He has his own group of bad guys that are part of his, I forgot what they call them. They have a group name. And they're important, but right now the maker's been like, I can't remember if he's imprisoned or something. He's away. He can't come back for a whole year, and anything can happen in between. I don't know why. I cannot remember what the event was that got him locked away for the year, but it's cool because, it allows for a little more ability for the characters to roam around, because when he's around, he's going to control so much stuff. Okay, this one focuses in on the Thor universe, and has Loki sitting on the throne as pretty darn bad. Hela is around also, but the cool thing about this one is it's Dennis Camp. So if you're not reading any Dennis's stuff, you should. Mm-hmm. It starts out making me believe that the issue before this, that the storyline is connected really tightly. I don't think I read #10, but you don't need it to start here. But it's the unique style in this is it's almost all written in little block prose and poetry. So it feels very of the Thor universe, if that makes sense. It does touch all of the different realms, Neverdelir and others. is essentially all of the realms being asked to fight against Loki, and all of them being not wanting to do such things. So it is like I was telling you for the Planet book. This one gets you to like slow down and just enjoy reading something. So Ultimates is one of those books of the Ultimate line that I feel like I pick it up and say, I should just skip this because I've got so much to read. But then when I read them, I'm like, it's always been good. Everyone, because I jump around, I haven't read all of them, but everyone that I've picked up and read makes me believe I should be reading all of them. So it's really cool. Not a miss. Don't miss this one if you like Thor or Loki at all, or really any of the characters from that universe, including a very cool version of Sif in this one. So yeah, you guys are all reading this. All right, and I got actually multiple requests for this book this week. People have been calling the store or messaging through Facebook to our page and stuff. So I think word on the street is that there is cool new character development here. So I think that there weren't very many copies of the Jedi Knights #1 out there. We did not order a ton of them because I felt like our customer base was having the Star Wars just too much going on, because they've been throwing High Republic universes at us or books at us, and I think we were trying to give people a breather, but that's our mistake because this one's really cool. So this is basically Yoda, and he's got a Jedi that is with him that they are it's during the time of that Obi-Wan is still being apprenticed to Qui-Gon. Those are the main characters that are part of this. But this character you can see in the background there, his name is Atha Prime, is real seriously dangerous. This might be this character's first appearance, because I don't think it's the female Jedi's first appearance there. She actually has she's not a mech, but she has some kind of inserts to help her with. She has some kind of gosh, I don't want to call it debilitating disease, something. She has something that she was born with that they're supposed to help her. But all of this stuff gets affected by, what she say, radiation, certain kind of radiations and stuff. And they actually encounter that in their travels during this issue. So this one's good Jedi Knight material, as it has become kind of hard to get excited about Star Wars stuff because they've started to list almost every single issue as having a first appearance. How do you know which ones are going to be the most important ones? But they do tend to have shows in which those characters show up on the show, and then everybody wants the issue. So this one's a great read, especially if you don't have enough Yoda in your life. You get to see Yoda in his prime, I guess.
Prime Yoda.
Prime Yoda.
So Vatican City. So I always feel like when it comes to Mark Millar, my favorite books are usually the ones people are kind of either forget or they're just kind of on, or the books everyone loves. I'm the one that's usually like, that was okay. This one I thought was actually pretty solid. Just to preface that, my taste in his books might differ from everyone else's, but basically the hook, vampires attack, basically take over everything, and it happens so quickly, just in the first couple of pages. And the setting, I'm sure you guys already know, it's the Vatican, which is one of the final places that they can't touch or they can't attack for for reasons I'm sure you guys know. Vampires and religious symbols, not their thing, in blessed sites. So the survivors on this attack, they're holed up in the Vatican to try and figure out why and how like these creatures that we all thought was not real are suddenly like attacking them. And the reason as to the why is explained at the end of the issue. The cover the cover for this book, it's fantastic and genuinely like it's just the perfect tease for it. Sounds like World War Z but with vamps. Yeah, honestly, that's a fair comparison. Much more bloodier, as you can see by the cover, which I'm surprised it kind of got away with. But
It's like I'm gonna get close, so I can't really see it. I will.
It's like
it's right here. Yeah, I'm gonna look at it in real life.
But yeah,
the
like
vamps look like Hydra Bob. Oh yeah, they do actually.
And I'm not quite sure if this is going to be an ongoing or a mini series, because I feel like this is a story that can be wrapped up in 4 or 5 issues. But I don't know if Millar, if he just wants to I just want to just keep going with this, because it's an interesting premise of being like holed up somewhere, and you have to survive like vampire wave after vampire wave after vampire wave. If you like, I'm pretty sure I said this multiple times on the show, but if you like horror, definitely check it out. If you like religious horror, which I think he might be playing with in this one, definitely check it out. The only thing I can really compare it to is like how Barlord said, I get some World War Z vibes from it. I think you would also like it. I kind of want to know what your thoughts are on it tomorrow.
I was just like being enthralled by so I like looking at the art. The line weights are really interesting in this one. Like the outside lining, the outlining is really thin. The only time you see thick stuff is when you got shadow there, and it's real loose. It's like when people give Frank Miller a hard time about his art now, I'm just like, it's who's coloring him that doesn't really get it, right? Because if you look at his stuff when it's colored perfectly, it's beautiful. And that's what's going on here. Like if you took away all the color from this page, it would look really loose. I don't know. So mad props to colorists. They get it.
No, it's definitely unique too. Like that's a good way to like describe it. It's very loose. It's like something I never thought would fit the tone of this book, but it fits it perfectly. And props to the creative teams.
Yeah, I've never heard of the artist's name is Perberg. I've never heard of her.
I want to visit Quebec.
Hey, Steve. There's so many churches out there, yeah, and also in Middle America.
And the South too, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I was actually having a really awesome conversation with a customer today who came in and said that he had kind of been out of comic books for a while, but was thinking about what he wanted to do to start reading things. And he had already kind of picked up one of the EU books, and I said, okay, let me help you out with this. It's like you if you're interested in the Transformer, you should definitely do Transformers, but you need Void Rivals, you need Scarlet and Cobra Commander, because he was clear that he was open to it, right? It wasn't a money thing. It was I don't know how big this universe is. And I told him, I said, I would have never ever believed in a million years, if you'd asked me before this universe launched, would I ever be interested in reading Transformers again or G.I. Joe again? Because after 30 years of trying it and just realizing they weren't writing for me, but they were really great books, but it wasn't something I was like, I can't wait for that thing. Now, I was like, if they've got me to read these things, and probably it's something everyone should at least try. They've done such a great, it doesn't matter who the creative team is on any of those books. They've done such a great job of putting a universe together that is really great. If you know Transformers stuff, awesome. This one's going to hit you right in the feels. So many feels for this issue. Oh, my Lord. So this one, I think, is going back in time for a specific Transformer, Megatron. And as you see on the cover there, he is weirdly he's kidnapped and weirdly subjected to, for lack of a better term, gladiator type positions where these alien kind of mech creatures are forcing him to battle these little Sharkatrons, which basically just gnaw him, and other kind of like giant, I will call them dinosaur mechs, but they're not what you're thinking. They're not the Dinobots. So it's one of those really cool stories where it comes clear, like it starts out with like, okay, he does one battle and they say, no, you're not. You haven't learned what you're supposed to learn, and you're not getting it. And so every time he gets defeated, which it looks like he dies, he starts again. And this is kind of like a cool new origin story for, in the series so far, he's had 2 forms. He's got his robot form and a tank. I'm going to leave it alone and let you run out and try to get this tomorrow, because I'm just going to say there might be something else that's going on. For old schoolers. Wait, Steve, actually, John Cena. There you go. Oh, gosh. Okay. Another universe that I've been away from for a long time, but have recently got into. I got really sucked back in, especially when the Throne of Hell was kind of like made available. And they had the whole storyline where Nyx ends up on the throne. Oh, here she is. I think that they're saying that's the first time we actually get to see her in power. Although it's weird to say that that's happened when I know that she was given the throne many issues ago. So, gosh, what can I tell you about Spawn? It's many issues past when these things happen. One of the main characters of Spawn died and was brought back and powered up. I'm gonna let you figure out who it was. In this issue, it starts out with Al talking to Wanda. That's another storyline that's happened recently that's gonna make your brain hurt, because she's also been dead for a long time. And it is all to do with this power struggle that's happening between heaven and hell. There is a giant creature that one of these characters wants to use to go conquer everything. Terrifyingly large. Think celestial-ish large. So, as always, Spawn has always had this heaven and hell, dichotomy thing going on. Hell essentially is hell Spawn, so hence the name. And one of these characters needs his ability to power up something terrible. Terrifying and terrible. So this is a big, big issue, guys. Great spot for jumping on.
I know this week's season have a lot of good jumping on points.
Oh, it's really true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that it's a slow week, because there's a bunch of stuff you can just be like, I'll try this now.
There you go. So Adventure Time. I'm sure everyone's seen a cartoon at least once. It feels like it picks up right where the show ends. It's like you're watching or reading a new episode, I guess. One of my favorite things about comic books is when artists, they can play with the medium a little bit, how they can play with the panel boxes and just have really creative ways for characters to interact with the boxes. This book has a really fun way this of doing I guess like the page layout or panel layouts and how the characters react to them. If you pick it up, you'll see what I mean.
Like breaking the fourth wall kind of stuff, or
breaking the fourth wall, it's just how they interact with the panel boxes themselves.
just the panel boxes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just go.
Fun.
It's very fun. But yeah, it's for fans of the show. If you've never watched Adventure Time, still pick it up, but also watch the show because it's fantastic. And I'm always down for anything new from this universe and featuring these characters. And I always like reading like books that are based off of existing IPs, I guess, because you read it in their voices.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very fun issue. And another fun thing, it's not like a one shot, like a one-off like story in this issue.
Ooh.
It's going to be like part of an ongoing storyline. So definitely
awesome.
check it out. Yeah.
You know what I figured out the other day?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been buying big collections of graphic novels because we sell a ton of them at the store, and we're just trying to feed the hunger that is people's desire for new storyline. So I was putting in some Adventure Time graphic novels into our system, and we always look them up on eBay to make sure that it's not something that's terribly out of print and very expensive before we do that. And I realized that some of the Adventure Time books, and these are not that old, they're within the last 10 years or so, have really become expensive items. Not all of them. It just depends upon the number of graphic novel, but I'm hoping that they do maybe like an omnibus or some kind of larger collection of them, because it is actually really hard to find the entire series now. We used to have like this giant section of them, and it's dwindled down to like that.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously people are enjoying Adventure Time and wanting to pick it up. We got a new generation of fans for the material, which makes me real happy for the creators of that show.
It does.
I still can't see your posts.
That
is weird because everyone's on YouTube. That's bizarre. Because sometimes it happens that some of you guys are talking on Facebook or Twitch. So,
well, the weird thing is when because Ed also can't see Kenneth, but when we're on other shows that aren't on the experience, they can see each other. So I have no idea what's going on with that, but they haven't blocked each other or anything, or maybe they accidentally did. Who knows?
There are a great many things on the interwebs that I can't figure out either. Oh my gosh. I'm the worst person in the universe to tell you should spend money this week because there's so much good stuff. If you have not read Geiger, either the first series or this ongoing series that's going on right now, you're missing out part of the universe that they're building over there at Ghost Machine. That, oh my gosh, you just can't possibly imagine how really cool it is. So for anyone that's read this, you know that Geiger is a character who got stuck outside of a bunker during a nuclear strike. His family were safely inside. He loses consciousness. When he wakes up, he has the power of he basically can blow up like a nuclear bomb. It's very dangerous to be around. He has figured out that he can put on these cool, I think they're gamma rods that he has to wear. And if he doesn't have them, then he kind of loses control. But there's like a heartbreaking part about it because he believes he's guarding the outside of this bunker because he believes his family's in there still, but he doesn't realize how much time has actually elapsed. So that's a sad origin story for him, right? Now, recently, he's met this girl who they call the Glowing Woman. He's called the Glowing Man, but it's kind of like they just call him Geiger. And it is very, very unclear at this point whether she has got his best interests at heart, or if she's got her own agenda, or if there's somebody else driving the boat. We don't 100% know. We have met the doctor who maybe helped her figure out how to control herself. She does not need those rods to control herself from losing it. we keep on seeing more origin story for her. There is big stuff that happens in this book in her regard. It's really cool. And also there's a successful Barney Bath. But only, it turns out, a mechanical character is the only one that can actually get him to get bathed for some reason. It's a very sweet moment. So, the universe, such great universe to me. It's Ultimate Universe, but can't call it that because of the Marvel Ultimate Universe, right? Yeah. Yeah. That is why.
So Doctor Strange of Asgard. So sorry. So Doctor Strange did something very silly, or he kind of has to in One World Under Doom.
Mm-hmm.
If you know, you know. And this is the kind of consequences from that. So the first issue, he finds himself in a little bit of trouble because he thinks Loki did something very, very bad, but Loki is saying that it wasn't me. I don't know what's going on. I know it was me that you saw, but it's not what you think. So now Doctor Strange has got to he's got to figure out if one who killed someone in Asgard, find the actual killer, make sure that Thor doesn't know what Loki did, because in his own words, Loki and Thor, they're on good terms now, and they don't really want to see that. They don't want to see. Well, he doesn't want to see them, like, their relationship, fall apart again, just for the betterment of everybody, for everybody's sake at this point. Yeah, it's a very interesting mystery that I almost overlooked. I don't know how this flew past my radar. I know there's so many books coming out like this week and just past couple of weeks, but yeah, it's like got a strong enough. It's a strong enough mystery that makes me want to figure out what happened and how long they can keep the game going so that Thor doesn't find out, because he's gonna, like, at some point. And when he does, it's not going to be fun for anybody, especially Loki, especially Steven for keeping it from him. And yeah, it's got to be probably one of the worst job interviews I've seen. Like,
I'm sure there's been worse. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's no words in this book. It's a no word book. They're doing these very well done silent issues, since the most popular G.I. Joe of all time is G.I. Joe 21, which is the really beautiful silent issue. They've already had one. It was Beachhead last week before last. And this one is Jinx. So, as you might expect, this one makes really good sense because Jinx is a ninja and should be silent. This one's told really interestingly. So it is quite clear that she is there to set a bomb. And the whole story is like the timer gets set. And then the top of each page essentially is the countdown. It's like each one is like, I'm guessing a second, because I think that's what the countdown is, like second. So it's obviously people are moving really quickly. And it is kind of a cool, like if you had a silent James Bond where it's, like her encountering general bad guys or one really scary looking bad guy. And they injure each other fairly well. Really stark imagery, just like on the cover. It's more red, black, and white. With I don't remember the blue part. It's not something that Eddie will have problems with, I don't think. But really beautiful. It does have some of that feel of like Miller work, where it's what I was talking about earlier, when it's very much about the negative space in the page, in as much as it's I mean, you'll see it when you're like, oh yeah, I get what she's saying. It's a negative space book. But these are really cool, y'all. I'm excited that they're doing them. It's a good study in storytelling because you don't have to rely on words. Like my biggest pet peeve in comic booking, you can see it in young, inexperienced storytellers, is that you'll see a panel and then the characters in the panel are saying what they're doing in the panel. She looked scared. You can see that's on her face. You don't have to tell me, I'm not a dummy. So this is them saying, look, we can tell you an entire story with giving you no words. We know you're smart enough to figure out what's going on. So this is, if you're interested in doing comic books, these are really great study material for how to do it really well. Do not mess with the special investigators. I understand that reference.
So I think this is going to be the book of the week for everybody. Either this one or Amazing Spider-Man #1. I think my favorite thing about the Absolute Batman book is just that it's so over the top in the best way possible. Like, is it ridiculous? Yes. But that's what makes it so good. Like how Jen Penn mentioned earlier, like, curious about this week, what part of his body does he use to maim and stab someone with? Sure, everyone knows this is first appearance of somebody. Very big clue on the cover. Can't quite put my finger. I'm sure people will.
Looks really cold there.
Yeah, a little bit cold. It's freezing even. Batman is a Christmas character. Don't at me. You know what?
Oh, what?
You know what? Absolutely right. Batman Returns. That is a Christmas movie. So
true.
Yeah. So but yeah, the artist for this issue is one of my favorites. So I was very, 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 very excited to open this book and to see, like, oh, I know this artist. He had a really good really good run on a Daredevil too. But yeah, it's something I really liked in this issue. Big is that Bruce gets called out a little bit, which I'm happy about, because it's like, you know, you have people who care about you and they want what's best for you, so maybe not act like a jerk. So I'm always happy to see writers call out Batman, call him out. Oh man, I really wish you got to read this too, Jen.
Oh, I'm gonna. Don't worry.
But yeah,
I can't not read them. I mean, like, it's bad. Like, I feel like I'm, when I've never been a druggie and I've never, been a person that like craves things except for like sugar. This is like chocolate. We'll call it chocolate. It's chocolate. Gotta have it.
Something that
calling out bad behavior.
That's something I am kind of curious about too. Like, the final page. It's like not the final page. Like second to last page. It's fantastic. Like the whole book is. But I'm genuinely curious about how people are going to react to a certain character design, I guess. The Absolute series, I mean, they've all been fantastic, and I'm always curious to see, like, oh, this person's going to be in it. I wonder how they're going to look. This one, it's scary. It's also very different, and yeah, it's basically it's more like of the same, I guess. If you're liking Absolute Batman, I'd be very surprised if you were cool on this issue.
So good.
But yeah, it's great. Like, this is one of those titles, like, every month I'm just like, I want more ridiculousness, and I get it in this book. Like, it's fun. It's a fun Batman title.
Pop Steve's comment up there, Jay.
Could you imagine? Sorry.
Yeah. you imagine Deadpool in a silent issue? He'd be struggling to reach out from the page and tear apart the book, the most profound metatextual maneuver. It'd be like the monster at the end of this book, right? That would be awesome. Pitch has been sent. And the other thing is, like, I like the comment, Batman is a Christmas character. Don't add him because his mentor is Santa Claus. That's canon. That's totally true. So yeah, he's a Christmas character that occasionally crosses over into Halloween.
The fall winter character.
Miss Jen said it, so you know it's accurate.
It's accurate.
So I'm taking
I
that
did research for it. It's because when they started doing the Silent Night storyline, where they had Santa Claus and Batman together, they did 2 miniseries recently, which were really great. But it clarifies that it's like it's not even new canon; it's old canon that Santa Claus is his mentor. So, and Santa Claus is not to be trifled with because he knows everything, right? Everything. Okay. So this week is a great week to go try something new. I challenge you to go pick up a book that you heard about today, or just something you see on the racks that you're like, oh my gosh, this does look really interesting. I should pick this up and give it a whirl. And I'm going to also give you a challenge. Then go on to social media and do a short review. Tag up the creators. Because as I've said before, they live in a world in which the stuff that you're reading right now, they created 6 months ago. And they don't know what people think about it. They live a little bit in a vacuum. They do the very best. They put it out there, but they've already had to move on to the next part that they're working on. So if they see warm, fuzzy comments, or even if you're just like, have they thought about doing this? This would be great. I might put an idea in their head. And I know they would love it. What else? Jay, what else is coming on today?
Well, before I get to that, if you are traveling, make sure you visit comicshoplocator.com. That's comicshoplocator.com. Enter the area code. No. Zip code? Zip code. See, now I got it wrong. I'm always correcting Kyle, and I got it wrong. Enter the zip code of the place you are traveling to see what comic shops are around you. But always, always, always make sure to call the store. Google is not always correct with the hours of the store. You don't want to show up and be mad because you didn't do the little bit of research there. But coming up next, welcome to Wonderland's back. Rich is taking a little bit of time off, so it's going to be Kyle and AJ. So be sure to check that out. They're going to have new books. And then after that, of course, In Your Night, Kicking It with Henri. Like, just if you've never watched an Henri show, you're really missing out. It is a spectacle to behold, to say the least. But also, keep another tab open because next, Miss Jen's going to be over on the CBSN, correct?
I am going to go over there and sell new comic books. Then I've got some crazy collections to show afterwards. But definitely support the awesome EXP show that's coming out next for the Wonderland because they have worked really hard on theirs.
Yes, 2 tabs, man. I know Nope does that sometimes. I caught him on 2 shows at a time.
I mean, only the really if you can multitask, you should be able to do that just fine. I find myself now watching TV and watching dumb shorts on my Facebook feed about shopping at flea markets.
And as a fan, I'm going to just put this out there. Please don't be upset at your LCS if they have a light week like this week. Because I'm going to be honest, I would have been on the show today, but I got like 6 books in my pool, my little drop box, and to be honest, none of them were interesting to me. So it was a very light week this week. You know, with I think Dynamite books, they've been out for like 2 weeks now. Like we haven't had any new Dynamite books on the Comic Collectibles show because they don't want to put them on their show when they're not in shops yet. So trust me, Monday, y'all, if you watch Comic Collectibles, there's going to be like 300 slides. I can already feel it. But just be patient, folks. In all seriousness, be patient with your LCSs. These folks are working hard with what they got. You know, they can't help things that happen in the industry. So just wanted to put that out there.
And also use this time to look up back issues or pick up that trade that's like an evergreen that you just didn't have time to check out, because there's a lot out there. Might be the time for you to read like The Last Ronin or something if you haven't read it. It's a really good time.
And if your kids have gone and watched the Minecraft movie and are making you crazy, there's a ton of Minecraft graphic novels you can give to them, and they can read them silently in the back of the car. Or just catch up. Oh, yeah. That's always, time is at a real premium around here. All right, everybody. We're super glad to see you. Sorry we got finished early, but it gives you a little chance to go take a breather, go have some dinner, hydrate.
Catch up on your books.
Catch up on your books in the next 10 minutes.
That's like one issue at least.
Oh, yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week here. A Minute to Skim It on the EXP.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.